Hey, Megan here. Welcome to the webinar. I'm so excited and thrilled to bring you this highly anticipated program that we're now finally ready to launch. So for much of my career as a business coach, I've seen way too many people struggling, including myself initially, with really not knowing what to focus on in your business. So you're listening to all the people around you, these business gurus that are telling you, if you just follow this marketing strategy and do these steps and follow this method, you're going to get amazing results just like me. So, you go through the training, you spend, lots of money in going through this and you implement what you learn. And for some reason, you're not getting the results that you were promised, or that guru is getting. And you start beating yourself up thinking, what's wrong with me? Why can't I get the same results? So I've seen this time and time again, and actually, again, experienced myself. And the truth of the matter is what works for one person doesn't work for everyone. And the thing is also that there's so many pieces to the puzzle that you have to put together to create first a solid foundation for your business, but then, putting together systems and processes that work for you, that are in alignment with the way you naturally do things, that are in alignment with your values and your passion and how you want to run your business. So, this includes your irresistible offer, right? Your irresistible message that you're getting in front of your ideal target clients, and an aligned and converting marketing funnel that will turn your ideal star prospects into clients and then eventually raving fans. So, along with ensuring you have the proper mindset and confidence of a successful CEO, right? So the mindset piece is so huge. So there's so many different parts that have to come together to really ensure your success. So not any one piece is going to be the be all end all, or that magic pill. So I felt compelled and inspired to create a program, a complete program that really covers all of the areas, from really getting crystal clear on what you want to create for your business and getting in alignment with your values, your passion, how you want to be of service. And then, what are some marketing strategies that are in alignment with you and your natural way of doing things and what's fun for you. And then putting together, a marketing system, a funnel that works for you, that is automated ultimately, and that really brings in your ideal star clients on a consistent basis. So you can talk to them and, really be of service to them and eventually turn them into a client and then a raving fan. So I also want to tell you why this program is so special. Not only that it's complete and it offers every single piece of the puzzle that you need to create a successful business, but I brought in 4 other experts. So there's 5 experts, including myself, that really will be sharing their genius, their brilliance in various different areas. So I am very, very blessed to know so many amazing entrepreneurs and so many business professionals that have really dedicated their life to figuring out these different areas of business. And now they have a step-by-step proven process that they're willing to teach you in this program to ensure stellar results for you. So, they're going to guide you through these steps so you can create your highly profitable and aligned business. So there's tons of value in this program. I mean, if you worked with all of these individuals separately, you'd be paying tens of thousands of dollars. So, I'm so excited that they've agreed to join me because they really understood that this is truly a problem in our industry, the coaching and training industry, that, there's nobody really doing this where they're teaching all of these elements together to give entrepreneurs everything they need to be successful. So you can finally have your lifestyle dream business, right? Once and for all. So this is a 6-month intensive course. And so each month you're going to get access to a training module to kind of work through it at your own pace. And there's, videos, there's audios, there's content to go through, exercises to support it. But what's really cool is we have 2 to 3 group coaching calls every month that, whatever the module topic is, and whoever the featured expert is training and teaching that content is going to be doing a specific group call to really help you work through the information, help you understand, taking you through examples and exercises and really helping you implement it into your particular business. So I would love to share with you one of our experts, Christy Nix. I have a video that I'm going to show, a little interview with myself and Christy, where she's going to let you know some of the things that she's going to be sharing in the Silverlining Success Academy. So I'll let you listen to this. So I'm so excited to bring to you Christy Nix, who is one of our featured experts in the Silverlining Success Academy. So, I mentioned the word alignment many times, right? Mm-hmm. And for me, alignment is everything. This can be a game changer in your life and in your business. You see, a lot of my life, I struggled, kind of feeling like I'm pushing that rock up the hill. And yes, I could get results, but it wasn't easy, right? I felt like I was working so hard, kind of going against the grain, right? Mm-hmm. It wasn't really fun. Mm-hmm. So when I took the time to start focusing on what I truly wanted versus what I felt like I needed, mm-hmm. and really got clear on my value and my passion and my purpose, and really focused on that, that's when everything shifted, right? So, when you're in that space, then you're able to tap into flow, mm-hmm. and you're able to tap into that ease and grace and get out of that struggle mode, right? Mm-hmm. So what if you can run a successful business and really tap into that ease and grace and flow and really make a huge impact for your clients? So that's what it's all about. That's what we want to teach you. And I have the experts on alignment and really bringing that ease and flow into your business and making your business fun again, making it really represent your true self. So Christy Nix is, again, one of the many individuals that I'm so super blessed to know. She is just an expert in this area. And when I first met her, I was blown away and wanted her to join forces with me to share her expertise and her value with all of you in this program. So Christy Nix is she's spiritually aligning business strategist. And I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about herself and what inspired her to do the work that she's doing.
All right. Thank you, Megan. I'm excited to be here. I'm so excited. Technology is working. So, my journey has been a kind of an intense, crazy one like yours. I did have that aha moment. I was working, actually coaching underneath a big name coach, and was wondering, I was in my second year of his mastery program, really realizing though that I was busting my butt and I still was not getting the results all of the other people were getting. And I'm kind of thinking, well, not everybody, but a handful were. And I was like, why am I not getting the same results they are when I'm doing everything right? I'm doing everything they're telling me to do. And it's really rough and it's hard, but you know, we're kind of raised with that mentality that we really have to work hard to create what we want.
Yep.
And I know I grew up in that household. So it was very interesting, though, for me to sit back after I finished the program and go, wow, you know, this is just not in alignment with me and what that meant. Because it was almost like I was going through an intuitive test, because I teach intuition as a business tool, because I feel like that is a real key aspect to trusting yourself to find your flow. A lot of the times we second guess the easy stuff because it's supposed to be hard. And it's not. The easy stuff is actually what you're supposed to be doing. And so once you kind of reprogram yourself to get away from the have-tos and let go of those things that aren't serving you, and really trust that you actually know what you're supposed to be doing and how to actually follow that on a regular basis, because, you know, those intuitive whispers, connecting to your higher self or your posse, your crew, however you want to see it, that takes some training, because we're having to basically reset ourselves from what we originally were taught is what we're supposed to be doing. So, but that was a real game changer for me to realize that I'm not crazy, and that what I really am pulled to do will actually create more success in my business, where I'm actually doing less. I feel really ease with what I create. Everything just flows. I feel like, ooh, I'm pulled to do this, so that's what I do. And amazing things come. And then I'm pulled to do this, and that's what I do. And amazing things fall into place. And it's like, wow, this is actually pretty easy. I mean, I've had to talk clients off the fence. They're like, oh my gosh, it's too easy. I feel like I need to mess things up in order for me to feel like I'm satisfied. And it's like, no. You're supposed to be going with the flow of things. You're supposed to be paying attention, you know? So yeah, it was really a difference to be able to teach people that you're not crazy. You actually know what you're supposed to be doing. You have everything in you already, right? And so it's going with that pull, getting educated, having that perspective to where you're kind of expecting it to work out, but you have to first ask. And it's like, if you don't ask Spirit to give it to you, it's going to be really interesting in creating it, because we're all co-creators, right? So it's interesting to have that perspective shift, because it's like, oh, you mean I don't have to be so melancholy and down and all this other crap. And it's like, no, you don't. You're already wired for awesome.
I love that. And so you were talking about how, you know, once you kind of get in that space, happen to that flow and abundance, how, you know, things just come easy or easier to you. I think too, when you're operating from that space, and you can be very intentional about what you want to create in your business, right? And set those intentions. As long as you're taking the action, you know, that supports that you're also going to be able to attract, you know, amazing opportunities.
You'll attract the right clients. You'll attract the right support staff. You'll attract everything that's in alignment with who you are. But it all starts from the inside out. You can't be putting things out there that you think might be right, because who you attract is going to be only aligned with what you're putting out there, not necessarily what's in the inside. So that's a big conflict that we have, that it's okay to just be us, knowing that that influence is going to attract the right clients who are actually love who we are, who get us and are willing to pay us. So it's an amazing dynamic shift. Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. So you're going to be teaching a couple different areas in the program. So I wanted you to be able to share a little bit about what the participants can look forward to. So in our first module, we're going to be talking about creating a clear vision for you and your business. And you're going to be specifically talking about aligning your personal style into your business. Can you talk a little bit about that and what you're going to be bringing to the table in that segment?
Okay. So with alignment I feel is basically you knowing who you are, how you work, and what you want, and putting that out there, making your business, all the actions you take in your business, the choices you make every day, actually reflect those three things. And so in this, we're specifically looking at our uniqueness, what makes us different, because that's actually what makes our life easier, is by really honing in and accepting that uniqueness, but then putting it into play. Because if you don't take action, nothing's going to happen. You're just going to keep spinning in a little circle. And that's really boring. So, but yeah, so that first piece is all about really discovering that uniqueness and tuning into like your intuitive style. Everybody takes in intuition in a different way, being able to recognize it, which is huge, then listen to it and trust it enough to actually take action. So it'll be definitely putting it into play on purpose. So learning that little piece of self is a huge game changer.
Yeah. So really from the get-go, when you get really clear on your personal style, right, and how you want to operate your business, how you want to use your gift and your unique value, that's really important to get clear around first. But then, you know, that is essential too. You know, when you're being yourself and you are really just operating from the heart and sharing your passion, being of service, right, you're going to attract your ideal target clients to you, right? So I think so many people want to get out there and like, okay, this person's successful, I'm going to emulate them and be just like them so I can be successful too, right? But when you are being a copycat or not being yourself, you are actually not going to be able to tap into your unique ideal target client, right? So when you're willing to be yourself and utilize your personal style, you will attract the right people to you, right? Because of who you're being, and they're going to resonate with you and your message, right? So you can really stand out in the marketplace that way, right?
Yeah, because when you're copying someone else's pattern and someone else's effort, you often end up attracting clients who resonate with them, not you. Right. And so a lot of the times, while there are certain facets that you might align with, you're not going to have the ideal client. You'll have a client who's okay, but not great. And who wants mediocre when you can have awesome? So yeah, that's definitely a big deal.
That's awesome. Okay. And then another area that you're going to be sharing your expertise is in Module 4 when we start talking about your marketing mojo. Let's see here. So we're going to be talking about a lot of different marketing strategies, but the key, again, that word alignment is coming up again because there are a lot of marketing strategies out there, as we had mentioned, but you want to find the right marketing strategies for you, right? So Christy's going to be teaching you different ways to market your products and services that are aligned with who you are. So tell us a little bit more about that and what they can expect in that program.
Well, I use a tool that actually helps us to get clear on exactly how we work marketing wise, how we communicate best, our own philosophy or approach to marketing, because that's going to really show us that it's okay to choose what we're pulled to choose. A lot of the times, like I'm pulled to do video and to put a lot of things out there through conversation. Well, there are other people who, oh my gosh, they don't want to be talk to anybody, you know, they want their work to speak for itself. So there are different things that, you know, no matter how hot on the market something might be, if you're not pulled to do it, there's a reason. And so that's just one of my clarity tools is to help you be okay with the marketing vehicles that are actually in alignment with you. You can actually see, oh, this would actually work for me. I was pulled to do that, but I don't see anybody else really doing it. So I don't know if it's okay, if it'll really work for me. And so it's another clarity piece to really figure out, you know, what is your truth, really stepping into that honest marketing, right? So that you communicate in a way where your audience actually gets you, because that's when they connect with you, they trust you, and then they want to work with you. So yeah, a lot of the times we're trying to do it all and we're not supposed to. We're just not. Makes it harder.
Yeah. And, you know, when you can really represent your true self, then you can be authentic and genuine, right? And be of integrity. Yeah. And that's what people are going to resonate with. If you're trying to be like somebody else or going against the grain of your natural way of doing things, right? People are going to see through that, right?
It'll feel off.
Yeah, definitely. So I think that's, you know, when people are, you know, working so hard and doing all the so-called right things in their business and they're not getting the results, that's exactly why they're not, right? Because
they're out of alignment.
Yes. Yep. Yes. I love that. So, well, I want to be respectful of your time, but I do want to see if there's any last comments or anything you want to share with the listeners today. and, a little bit more about being, you're really tapping into your personal style and being your unique self, and what they can expect more in the program.
Yeah, so really what I feel like this program brings to the table that's different from a lot of other programs is that we're here to help you find your truth and to sometimes pull it out of you and show it to you, because sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. But it's really a confirmation that you've got everything inside of you to make you great, to make your success, like from a mental aspect all the way to fruition. And that this group of women, that's specifically what we're here to do, is help pull it out of you and show you how awesome you are and help you put it into place. You can actually see the results you want, but also have the life you want, instead of having to sacrifice self for things that just aren't you. So it's easier than you think. We're just kind of trying to make it harder. So we need to stop that. But
yes,
yeah.
and what's coming up for me when you're saying all of this is learning to trust yourself, right?
Big time.
And you had mentioned, you have everything you need within you to be successful, but we need to trust that, right? Yeah. And we need to really implement that. So thank you, Christy, so much for taking the time today to share with the listeners what you're going to be sharing, your expertise and your brilliance in this program. I really am so grateful to know you and to have you part of this program. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Great. Thank you, Megan. I'm so excited. This should be super fun.
Thank you, Christy.
All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
All right. So pretty cool. I hope you enjoyed that segment with Christy. She is just really, really a neat lady. So I'm going to share with you some of the modules we're going to be covering before I bring on one of our other experts. So as we said, there's 6 training modules. So it's a 6-month program. Each month you get access to a new training program. And all of the modules kind of build upon one another. But module 1, we're talking about creating a clear vision for your business. Without that clarity, it's like driving, on the road with your headlights off. You're not really knowing where you're going. And most importantly, you don't know what to focus on each day. So clarifying your business, your vision for your business, and also how you best serve your clients, and really, really kind of narrowing that down, because you have to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere and perfect a specific area or specific offering. So with every product or service, you have the actual product or service that you have to develop, right? But you then also have to have a way to market it. So you have your marketing message, your marketing system, and, then of course the delivery of the product when somebody signs up with you. So you have to get that going where it's almost kind of running automatically and it's perfected. Then once you get that going, you can add another element. But I like to start with, okay, how do you believe you can best serve your clients? And let's start there. Also, in this module, we're talking about creating your successful CEO mindset. Because it's all about really operating from that space of, the mindset of already being successful. Because you want to make decisions as if you are successful. If you're making decisions from a limited belief system, or a belief system that represents where you're currently at, which may be, not able to generate enough money to do the things that you want to do, then you're operating from that space of scarcity or lack, and you're not going to make the proper decisions to really create that successful business. And you're not going to be attracting who it is you want in your business. So there is some work to be done to develop that CEO mindset. And this is where we start that process. And then identifying your unique brand. I'm all about really helping you discover what is your unique value. What do you bring to the table that's different, that's unique, so you can stand out in the marketplace. And as Christy and I were talking about earlier, really be able to represent your true self, your authentic self, so you can attract your ideal star clients into your business. But it starts with really getting crystal clear on what your unique brand is, right? Then aligning your personal style into your business. And that's what we spoke about with Christy, where taking that piece of personal style and really interweaving that into everything that you're doing. Module 2 is attracting your high-end star clients. Identifying and attracting your star clients definitely requires some work, some legwork to really start getting clear on who that is, who you want to work with, not who you can work with who may need your services, but who do you truly want to work with? Who can you best serve, and how do you want to serve them? What is the number one, problem or challenge that they're facing? And so what is your unique transformation that can offer the solution that they're seeking? So these are some of the things that we really work through so you can, attract that ideal star client into your business, but then have the blessing to work with them through their transformation. So they're getting amazing results. You're being fulfilled in the process of working with them. And then also, we're going to help you package your expertise into high-end programs and packages so you can best serve your clients. So you're really providing the most value. You're offering a full solution, not just a quick fix or a Band-Aid to their problem that will temporarily fix it, but really the full solution that is transformational in their life. And this is why we're talking about high-end programs. They're willing to invest whatever it takes, because this problem that they have, this challenge they have, keeps them up at night. And they're tired of it. They want to have the solution, and they see you as the expert that can help them get from where they are to where they want to be. Then pricing your programs to reflect your value. So once you understand what your unique value is, the work that we're doing in Module 1, and you really truly understand that, and you begin to own your value, then you're able to ask for what you're worth in a way that is empowered. People are willing to pay that because they do see the value. Then in this module, you're also going to learn how to have effective and authentic sales conversations. You'll learn my served sales success formula so you can actually really be of service to your client, discovering what their challenge and problems are, how it's impacting their life, what they truly want to create in their life, what is their ideal outcome. And then you're able to offer a solution to their problem and then inspire them to say yes to working with you. So there's no, manipulating or convincing, when done the right way, where you are just being yourself, being of service, having a genuine conversation, and really coming from that place of truly wanting to help. It's a beautiful thing that can happen, and then it's just that it comes to the point of, it's your responsibility to share that solution with them. And if you don't, you're robbing them of the solution, right? So how dare you do that? So really that's what it comes down to. So if you see that, you have a solution for somebody, it's the right fit after you have that conversation with them during this enrollment conversation, then it's just like a natural next step. You say, you know what, based on what you shared with me, I believe I have the best next step for you. Would you be interested in finding out what that is? And so it's a really natural, authentic way to sell, and I'm excited to share that with you. And then this is the last module we're going to talk about before I bring Sandra to you. one of our other experts. So module 3 is structuring your business for success. So I told you that, there's different pieces that you have to put together to build a solid foundation for your business. So how do you set up effective systems and processes in your business that help you become as productive as possible and efficient as possible? That, again, are systems and processes that are going to work for you, right? That are not something that you dread. It's actually fun and, just part of who you are. Your natural way of doing things are going to be reflected in these systems and processes. Another area I think which is so important when you're structuring your business, it is really, really important if you want to create a lifestyle business to be setting up boundaries in all aspects of your business and your life. So getting really clear on your priorities and then honoring those priorities by setting up boundaries. So really factoring that in, because when you're running a lifestyle business that's based on your passion and you're representing your authentic self, it's just an extension of who you are. So you have to make sure that you are setting these boundaries, because really you're going to be loving what you're doing and it's not even going to feel like work. So sometimes you could just keep working and working and working and without purposely doing it, you're neglecting some of the other things that are important to you in your life, such as your family, your health. So we're really cognizant in this program and making sure that you get clear on what your priorities are first and you're setting boundaries around them and honoring them. And it's not just, in integrating your personal life with your business and making sure you balance that time, but boundaries also come into play, when you're working with your clients. Making sure that you are not giving too much of your time or having your clients take advantage of you. So really setting clear expectations between you and your clients and setting those boundaries there. Making sure that they are doing their part in this, right? So I love that topic about the boundaries, because I think it's so important to be cognizant of it right up front. So you're structuring your business to really suit your lifestyle and honor the things that are most important to you. And then finally, in this section, we're talking about building your team to leverage your time and get your mission out there in a bigger way, and then allow you to really focus on the things that you love to do, on the things that only you can do, the things that are really your strength and reflect your brilliance and expertise. So you can just focus on those things and then have your team do some of the other stuff. Again, to leverage your time, free up more time to get out there and share your message in a bigger way. All right, so I would love to bring out one of our next experts, Sandra D. Robinson. So I have another video that I'm going to show of an interview that I did with Sandra. So she'll be sharing what she's going to be bringing to this program. Bear with me a moment. Here we go. Yay, I'm so excited to bring you our next expert featured in the Silverlining Success Academy, Sandra D. Robinson. She is amazing. I'm so blessed to call her my friend. And she brings so much to this course, and really the area of confidence and your powerful personal presence. One of the biggest challenges I have found, and the biggest struggles that a lot of entrepreneurs face, is not truly knowing their unique value. And so they don't have the confidence to present themselves effectively or articulate, what they do or why they do it. They cannot effectively articulate that message to then inspire somebody to want to work with them, right? So in this program, we teach you to really, really get crystal clear on what your unique value is, what you bring to the table, what makes you unique. And then, Sandra's brilliance is to really then take that and allow you to really use that and use your powerful personal presence to confidently share that with your ideal target market, right? So there's a lot of different ways you can do that. But let me introduce Sandra to you tell you a little bit about her background. So she is a television actress, speaker, trainer, author, TV and radio show host, founder of Charisma on Camera.
Whatever.
And we both have the love of horses in common. But she is a charisma coach. So she teaches you how to share your message in an effective, powerful way on stage or on camera. So tell us a little bit about what inspires you to do the work that you do.
Well, for me, it was that I lacked that. What I lacked, I had to learn, and it was not an easy path for me at all. And it's interesting because while the acting credits, and I mean, I spent 20 years in the industry doing pretty darn well, when less than 3% of that union actually makes 80% of the money. So and I think it's even harder now to be able to be successful and live like I lived in that world for so long. And I was really blessed to do something that for me was fun at the time, but it was fun because it was also an escape for me. Being somebody else was the way that I thought I was supposed to live. And so when I came to the point where I had passions and I had causes that I wanted to represent, I was given a platform, right? Like if you're given an award or you're on a radio show or you're doing an interview like we're doing now, this is a platform. And anytime that you're given a platform and you have the opportunity to say something and stand up for what you believe in, it's great to be able to do that. I couldn't. I would literally fall to pieces if somebody handed me a microphone at a charity event. And at interviews, I failed miserably. And nobody took me aside to tell me that things could be better. I just thought I sucked.
You're great at being other people, but not yourself.
Right. I just thought my mother was right. Like I have no reason to be on the earth. And I just reinforced that over and over again. So when I say that for me to learn how to be confident and to teach that, it's because I know every level of discomfort along the way. And I've had certain obsessions my whole life. I've been obsessed with animal and human behavior, which makes sense. If I went into acting, I'm studying human behavior. Yeah. I went back to school 4 different times for communications and psychotherapy, biopsychology, and I didn't graduate at all. I just went back to school because I like to learn. So I just kept going back to school. Yeah. The point is that I have really been fascinated with what makes people tick, what makes them light up, what makes us connect. And of course, now I'm using that with the new branch of my business. I'm bringing the animals into it. I'm using horses. Yeah, and really just getting down to the basics of energy. And that's what it comes down to. It's the relationship you have with yourself first, foremost. And then when that is healthy, then you can have that relationship with other people. That's what speaking is. It's building relationships. That's what video is. That's what interviewing is. That's what standing up at a BNI meeting and sharing your message is about. It's not about tooting your own horn. It's not about looking good. It's about building relationships. And if you look at things that way, it'll really help you to establish that message in a really clear way. You'll feel good about it. What I love to work on with people is figuring out where are their gifts in communication, because some people really try to be like somebody else. I'm guilty of that in the beginning, and it doesn't work. If you're sitting with a guru who tells you, say this script, and it's not working, it's because it's not your script. Yeah. You are perfectly designed with the charisma that you already have inside of you to be able to attract the exact people into your business and into your life that you need. And I just give somebody the permission to see that. And then there's a freedom that comes from that. There's a freedom from telling a girl who's speaking to corporate that she can actually be funny, when in her mind, corporate isn't funny. Right? But the second that she changed her keynote and started adding in some humor and even being a little goofy, people saw her as being real. She was refreshing. She was enjoyable. She got rave reviews. And all I was doing was allowing her to be who she was.
I love that.
So that's really what it comes down to. And I get super excited when I see people be able to change just by a shift in how they see themselves. be able to change what happens in their business. And really, I focus not so much on the term success, which can be a killer to some people because there's so many different interpretations of it. It can be like poison for some people, but to really focus on what makes your life abundant. Mm-hmm. And if that's having a successful business that feeds you spiritually, having healthy relationships, then the first thing that has to come into play is you appreciating who you are. As you said, your unique value in what you present to the marketplace, but it's your unique value in who you are as a person, because who you are as a person is exactly the same as who you are when you step in front of a video camera or you get up on a stage. You just tweak a little bit to maybe raise your energy up, and you have certain phrases and certain techniques that will work for you in those situations, but you're still the same person.
Yeah. So when you're able to represent your true self, and you know you're really just coming from that place of service. I mean, I believe we're all in business to be of service, right? And share our gifts and make an impact in the world, right? So hopefully that's you, and hopefully you're passionate about doing that, those of you listening. But, you know, when you make it about them and you get out of your head, your ego, right? And get into your heart and come from that place of service, you're talking about building a relationship. So, you know, really, if you're coming from that place of service and wanting to share, wanting to make a difference and want to, you know, establish and nurture that relationship, then it's not as scary, right? It's not about you. It's not putting yourself on a pedestal where you have to be perfect and say all the right things and do all the right things. When you're just really sharing from the heart and hoping to make a difference in at least one person in the room or one person on the other side of the camera, life, then, you know, that's really what it's all about. So I want you to share briefly, and I want to be respectful of your time. So what is it that you're going to specifically be teaching in the Silverlining Success Academy?
Well, this is partly open to what happens as well with your group. So I want to say that I'm very pliable. So if something pops up that you say, hey, these ladies really, my dogs are running out. Can you hear them? That's what that is. That's what being live is all about.
That's awesome.
200 pounds of dog just went tearing across the hardwood floors. I guess
my dog was barking crazy when I was taping another video a couple days ago. So
yeah, that's what happens. Yeah. But I am very pliable. So my goal is to be able to serve exactly how this group that comes together really needs it. So many different aspects to being able to get your message together. There's fears that are going to come up. So I'd really like to address some of the things that pop up for people first, which is that fear of being on camera. It comes from a few different places. So I'd like to address where those places come from and what you can mentally do to shift that so that you can step through it. If anybody tells you that they're going to get rid of your stage fright, which is also the same thing as not getting in front of a video camera, it's still the same
thing. Yeah.
It's that fear of being humiliated. It's that fear of what are people going to think about me? And what did you just say a second ago? We're in service. If you think about other people, if you're worried about what people are thinking of you, you're self-focused. Yeah. And our goal is to shift that, which takes some practice. So there's going to be some techniques that you can use on a daily basis to get yourself out of your head and get yourself into thinking about serving other people, be others focused, because that's going to help you in your phrasing. That's going to help you. And there are some techniques as well that you'll need to kind of put in place as far as when you're doing a video, how quickly do you have to say things and what is the right thing to say right off the bat? Because just like it's hard when you're, as Les Brown says, it's hard to see the picture when you're in the frame. So when you're putting your message together, you may think that you're doing it the right way and you're saving this piece de resistance, this lovely nugget of information for the end where you're just going to leave with bang and people are going to be so excited they can't wait to call you. There is some value in that, but you have to be able to give them a nugget right up front, like within the first couple of seconds. You have to give them something. And I want to show some examples of how that works so that you can actually work on that message, because your energy, your relationship with yourself, all of that is unspoken. And that's really super attractive, but there is still a formula and a way as to how you put that message together so that that energy that you have worked so hard to make pure and that intention that is so specific is going to be able to shine through. So you don't want to muddle up what you're already working on. And when I work with people, I work from the inside out. So I work on that appreciation of themselves, and then we work on the performance aspect of it. Performance on top of what, being real and understanding what your intention is and who you most want to reach and the language that they need. That's where performance comes in. Performance doesn't come in before that. Otherwise, it's going to be empty. And I know, because that's what I did first. I learned to perform first. And then eventually I discovered who I was. So the performing is only going to get you so far. And it's not really going to make the difference in your business that you want to make. So that's the direction that I want to take with everybody, so that they feel empowered when they build that message and they step in front of a TV, video camera, a public speaker, or even a BNI meeting.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, once you get this down, it's going to be valuable in every aspect of your life, even just a one-on-one conversation with somebody, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's because if you know what you bring and you know how people react to it and you know that it works, then that's great. I was listening to a podcast earlier today by a marketer, and he said, you do get that. I know there's all these terms that we hate. They're so old, but that 30-second pitch, the one sentence, I call it the brand announcement, right? If somebody says that awful phrase, what do you do? Which you should never ask somebody, because you put them into a box. Ask them what their passion is. Ask them what field they work in. I just hate that phrase. What do you do? Because they're not a what, they're who.
Yeah.
Right? But if somebody does ask you that question, you have to have an answer for it. And your answer should be something that elicits a question, something that makes them want to know more, something that's intriguing. And when you find what that thing is, then hold on to that and use that. Use that as the opening of your keynote speech. I used to say to people when I just worked with people on camera, I said, I like to help experts look and feel like a rock star when they get in front of a TV or video camera. And then I'd shut up. And the next thing out of their mouth.
Right?
Yeah, who doesn't want to feel like a rock star?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Especially when I first started teaching people on video, I was really working with a lot of female entrepreneurs, and not everybody had video on their website. There wasn't Facebook Live. There wasn't that. So it was kind of, people thought it was the cutting edge. Well, it picked up pretty quickly. So you went from being cutting edge to being the norm to being left behind if you didn't do video. But at that time, people were afraid of it. And so when I said that, there would be an instant reaction of, can I have your card? How do you do that? As long as you are eliciting questions from your opening line, you can use that in a bunch of different ways. You can use it in your videos. You can use a piece of it to even close your videos. It's part of your brand. That's why I call it a brand announcement.
Yeah, I love that. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I love the whole, be a rock star on camera. Be a rock star.
Who doesn't want to do that, right?
Yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you. As I told you, there's just so much value in this program. Sandra just alone, what she brings to the table. I mean, you could spend thousands and thousands of dollars just for her expertise and helping you be confident in front of the camera and on stage and be a rock star, right? So thank you so much, Sandra, for taking the time today to share with the participants what you're going to be sharing in this program. And I'm so blessed to know you, and really grateful that you're going to be part of this program just to make it even more valuable and rich than it already is.
It's going to be great.
So thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right. Back again. Don't you just love Sandra? She's just very positive and makes you feel like you can do it too, right? She's just so graceful on the camera, and she helps you bring that ease on stage and in front of the camera as well. So, all right. So we're going to jump into Module 4 and talk about what you're going to learn there. So Module 4 is all about Marketing Mojo. So we're talking about different marketing strategies. Now, these are going to be, we'll talk about various different options, but then we want to dial into your aligned marketing strategies. So learning different ways to market your products and your services that are aligned with your passion, your values, and your unique style, your personal style, right? So this is where Christy's going to help with this aspect. And then you're going to also be learning, how to sell. I mean, Sandra kind of shared a little bit about building relationships. Really, that's all we're doing with marketing. I mean, that has to be the focus. Your focus is not about selling your product or service. Yes, ultimately that's the goal, but the initial focus is to first establish a relationship. How do you do that? There's actually 8 different stages in doing that. The first one is awareness. How do they even become aware of you first, let alone want to buy a product from you? So creating that awareness is the initial step. And then eventually you want to get them to trust you. And then you start nurturing that relationship, providing value. And then, they're ready to take that step in wanting to work with you. So the whole process, when you're creating your marketing funnel and your marketing strategy on and offline, has to really hit all of those points to work effectively. So we really make sure that you understand that. And there's certain techniques that you can use to build your list. Again, how do you build a list? Well, you have to give them something that they want first for them to be willing to opt in, give their name and their email address to you to then opt in to get whatever it is that you are offering. So it has to be something irresistible, something that they want. So this is, going back to what we were talking about earlier. What is your ideal target client's number one problem or challenge that they're facing, that they're wanting to get solved? So that is what you want to always address, thinking about who am I talking to out there in the market and what can I offer them that they're really, really seeking that can truly help them. And so there's going to be some tremendous ideas for building your list, some techniques, and it's all called engagement marketing. This whole, wanting to establish that relationship and nurture the relationship. You have to be engaging, right, in order for that to take place. So we are going to have a marketing expert speaking specifically around your marketing strategies, list building techniques, and then ultimately building a powerful marketing funnel. This is really important. Now, it could be simplified in the beginning, right? You always have to have a marketing funnel, even if you do like most of your business offline. And then maybe you're doing speaking engagements or retreats or whatever it is. Then you want to get their information somehow and then build your list, right? So even if it starts offline, then you enter their information into your email platform, whatever your service that you're using. So then you can stay in touch with them, right? And continue to nurture that relationship, continue to provide value. So even if your business is a little more simple, which is fine, and actually what I recommend to start, and then as you start building your business, building your confidence, then you can implement a little bit more sophisticated marketing strategies and eventually have more of an automated marketing funnel that works for you and that is much more leveraged. But that takes, a little bit more time and effort in perfecting and testing and tweaking. And then, also requires more of an investment in your marketing as well, especially if you're doing things like Facebook ads, Facebook marketing, that type of thing. Now, social media obviously is a great source to connect with people. I really believe that often it's done incorrectly in business because at the end of the day, who really cares how many followers you have? Although was working with a client who is actually building his marketing platform because he's a new author. And some of the publishers, you know, if you want to go the traditional route, they want to see that you have, you know, a strong marketing platform, which means like how many followers do you have on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, whatever it is. And so in that case, yes, it matters how many people you have, unfortunately, but really at the end of the day, it's the quality of the people that you're connecting with, not the quantity. And, you know, are you just posting valuable information in social media, or are you actually having a strategy behind it? You know, you want to eventually take those people from social media and bring them into your world, whether it's inviting them to a webinar or, you know, getting them, offering them a free gift and getting them on your email list so you can continue to establish that relationship. So there's very effective social media techniques that you can learn, and then also content marketing. Like, what is the most effective way to utilize email, even? You know, so what should you be saying in your emails that really get people to take action? So all of this is so important, you know, to really build your business effectively and get in front of the right people to talk to make your offer, right? So you can start changing people's lives. So also another area, which is huge, is building strategic and referral partnerships. So this is a really brilliant way to easily and quickly expand your reach and your market by tapping into your aligned partners, communities or networks. So we teach you how to approach potential, I call them strategic partnerships, where, you know, you have a common ideal client that you're working with, and you could actually provide more value to your potential strategic partners client. So that's what it has to make sense. It has to be a win-win for both. But we teach you how to really reach out initially to that prospective strategic partner, and, you know, what you can actually be offering to make it, you know, really attractive for them to want to join forces with you. So you can expand your reach, you can sell more of your products, right? All right, module number 5 is spreading your message out to the world. So now that you have really clarified your message, you have your marketing system in place, so you have somewhere to send people that's going to then kind of get into the system where you can then nurture the relationship. Now you're really ready to get out there, right? You're ready to start spreading your message, position yourself as an expert in the industry. So this is where Sandra's expertise comes in, where she's teaching you to be confident and really presenting yourself, whether it is on camera, in a webinar, on stage, at a speaking engagement, at a networking event, whatever it is. So she's going to be teaching how to be charismatic in those situations and just really being your authentic, true self, where you're irresistible and people want to know more about what you're doing, right? They're wanting to really start a relationship with you, right? And they start seeing you as an expert, somebody that can help them get from where they are to where they want to be. So Sandra's going to be utilizing her techniques and strategies to really help you get everything you need to be confident in this area, if you are going to be speaking or getting out there and networking, or, you know, doing video or webinars. Because I think that's such a great way. I mean, any time your prospective client can see you face to face, where they feel like they get to know you a little easier. I mean, you could do that a little bit through audio, like podcast, probably would be the second best to video in terms of somebody feeling like they're getting to know you. The last one would be just through, you know, email or just through ads, like a Facebook ad or posts and social media. They're all important. They all have their place. But if you can get in front of somebody face to face, you know, in person, live, that's the most effective way. But video is very powerful as well, or, podcasts, that type of thing can work as well. So Sandra's going to be also giving you some tips on how you can create, a talk, how to bring that talk, to speaking engagements, and how to be a powerful speaker, effective on stage. And then we're going to be talking about the key elements to put in a signature talk. And I love this. You're going to be meeting our another one of our experts, Candy Barone, in just a moment. So she is going to be teaching you how you can actually take that same message, because really what we're doing here, guys, and I don't want you to think it's so overwhelming, like there's so many different pieces. Once you create a program or, some sort of package or whatever you're creating, you're going to repurpose that in a multitude of ways and take bits and pieces of that to create content for your videos, to create content for, your marketing. You're going to be able to create content for your signature talk. So if you want to get out there, get on some stages, share your message, and then ultimately maybe invite them to a enrollment conversation or strategy session, like a discovery session, whatever you want to call it. But, they want to take that next step with you where you're providing more value and service, but ultimately you are able to see if it's a fit for you to work with that individual and you're making an offer for your program. So anyway, you're repurposing this message in a multitude of different ways for different purposes. So what you can also do with the message is take your message into corporate, and that can be a whole other revenue stream for you. So I know a lot of people think that, oh, my message is not the type of message that would work in corporate, but you would be surprised. I mean, really so much of the focus in corporate now is with the staff is creating a culture, right? And making it a little bit more about supporting their employees and empowering their employees. So that would be, relevant for any kind of leadership training, empowerment training. Health and wellness is a huge focus now in corporate. So, I mean, most messages can be relevant there. So I'm going to let Candy explain that when we do the interview with her. So then just briefly, I want to go over module number 6, which would be the final module. And this is your inspired action plan. So you're going to be bringing everything together, everything that you're learning in this program, and really putting together a succinct plan. So you'll know exactly what you need to do day to day, week to week, month to month to build your multiple 6-figure business, your 7-figure business, whatever you want to create. Because honestly, once you create your marketing plan and you have your strategies in place, your systems in place, it's just a matter of being consistent, working the plan, and you could really generate any income that you desire. It just depends on your level of commitment and motivation and passion and drive. And then, basically how big you can imagine, your vision to be. So we're going to be helping you set some very solid goals, and you'll know exactly how to get those goals because you'll have some strategies to do that. And then tracking tools and some things that we're going to be putting in place to help you implement what you're learning and stay on track. So that whole accountability, making sure that you are implementing all these things and really being consistent. We have ways for you to be able to track that and for us to continue to support you. So that is the program in a nutshell. I know it's a ton of stuff, but I'm super excited to bring out Candy Barone, who is our expert in really bringing your message to corporate. So I'm going to show you another video that will introduce Candy. So I want to introduce you to a very special person, Candy Barone. She is CEO of You Empowered Strong, and she's an amazing change agent that has a mission to bring the heart back to leadership in corporate business. And I'm blessed to have known Candy now for, what is it, like 5 years, something like that. And I'm really, really honored to call her my friend. She's amazing, and I'm so excited to have her here with you, to share with you, and to have her part of the Silverlining Success Academy as one of our featured experts. So Candy is going to be helping you bring your message, your expertise to corporate, which is yet another revenue stream. She has cracked the code to get your message into corporate. So Candy, first, before we dive into some of the content you're going to be teaching and the training, why don't you tell us a little bit about why you do what you do? What's the inspiration behind what you're doing?
Sure. And first, thank you so much, Megan. It's so awesome to be here. It's an honor to play in space with you as always. So some of my inspiration came from the fact that I've had 20 years in corporate myself. And I was at a place where just really hit burnout, got to a point where I hit rock bottom, and saw a lot of things that weren't going in the direction they needed to go for leaders to step forward and really be impactful and influential. And so when I stepped out, I originally said I wasn't going back to corporate. I wasn't doing work back there. But as you know, some of the wounds heal from the time that I spent there, you realize what the opportunity is. And especially at that kind of mid-tier, upper-level manager, there's not a lot of support for people to step forward. There's not a lot of support for people to feel like they get to be who they are, know who they are, and invest in that capacity so that they can truly lead from what I call a place of love, lead from love with love. And so going back, it's been really great going back in some of those old stomping grounds to take a message that is one that's needed and one that hasn't been incorporated much before. So really disrupting that space and not doing just typical leadership training and those kinds of things, but getting them connected back to something that matters more.
I love that. And that's like so along the lines of what we teach with, really understanding what your value is, what you bring to the table, what's unique. And, if corporate can kind of just have that same mindset, right, that entrepreneurs have to really be able to step into their genius zone and not be afraid to be their true self, right? Their authentic self, because that's when, their team's going to be able to connect with them and they're going to be able to work together in an authentic way and really get the job done, right? So I love that you're doing that. And that's, I think, what makes you so unique, that there's nobody else doing that in corporate that I know of. Bringing it to that level. So that's awesome. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're going to be teaching in the training for the Silverlining Success Academy?
Absolutely. And, it's really what I like to say, the kind of soup experience around how to get what you need. First and foremost, we dig into mindset, right? There's a lot of notions, especially for entrepreneurs, that think, I don't have a message that want. My message might be a little soft. It might be a little heart-centered or a lot heart-centered. And that word woo-woo, right? People talk about this message and it's too woo-woo. And what I challenge people is that that's exactly what needs to go. The opportunity is making sure you can connect it back to their speak and their metrics. And so the training is really designed not only to help you give yourself permission around what is the message you want to take in, so get really distilled down clear on what is that message you want to take into corporate, and then what is the corporate language you need to be successful to open up access to engage in that space. So we start from everywhere from where do you even start? How do you work your existing network and dispelling some of the myths around how you think you have to go into corporate and some of the untapped massive opportunity that people don't even know is right in their LinkedIn and right in their network and right in their fingertips. Starting there, then it's the language to open up the conversation. Then it's really around how do you connecting it back to what they need, their priorities, their metrics, their financials, and then everything from that front end piece to How do you deliver a proposal that's not some 40-page book that goes on the shelf, but something that's very succinct, very clear, outlines what they need, what you're delivering in terms of solution and value? How do you go through the art of negotiation? And then what are all the upsell revenue streams that allow you to take that relationship and so it's everything from how do you get started, how do you get in front of them and engage in the conversation, how do you put a proposal in front of them that's one that's going to get you converted, and then what do you do once you're in the door? How do you negotiate more? How do you negotiate leverage, and how do you create an opportunity to create a relationship that's going to be ongoing, so multiple revenue streams, and then the accountability and the follow-up so that you can keep that relationship nurtured throughout the process.
Wow. So there's, you said a lot there.
A lot.
For sure. But I mean, I think one of the biggest challenges is getting in the door, right? So I know that you are an expert at that and giving some tips and strategies around that. But then, yeah, I mean, I really have a lot of entrepreneurs that I work with that, you know, think it would be a good idea to go into corporate, but they're just thinking that their message is not going to fit in, like you had said. So absolutely, I believe that corporate is ready for a message that, you know, provides value, that really comes from a different perspective. Because when you're in corporate and you're, you know, doing, you know, certain tasks and really just in the grind, you know, it's important for them to kind of step away from that and kind of see a different perspective. And that's with, you know, really tapping into, you know, that value proposition, what they're bringing and how they can really add that element of passion and get excited about what they're doing again, right? And really tap into that, that passion. So I think that that's really what, again, makes you unique and what you're bringing to this program, in terms of how we can take, you know, something that we've already created for our own business, and we're, you know, maybe offering packages or services to our clients. But then once you perfect that, how do you take that same or similar message and adopt it into corporate to be able to create that second revenue stream? And also, I think too, you know, speaking can be a very, very powerful way to tap into that corporate market. Can you share a little bit around your thoughts around that and how you've been able to use speaking in your business to tap into the corporate markets?
Yeah, speaking is an absolutely powerful way to get into corporate. Whether you're doing a talk just for the sake of doing a presentation, or if you're getting into more of the training space, which really is the bigger opportunity, I think. Because even one of the things I teach in there, and just to let people know, while there's a ton of content in there, everything's broken down into very bite-sized pieces to really help you get confident in each specific space, because I think it matters the way you show up in corporate. That confidence is everything. You need to know that you are, it's not a trial kind of space to try on a new talk. It's a talk that you feel very confident about. It's a talk that you know delivers results. When you can talk in that frame, those kind of speaking engagements are incredibly powerful. The other thing that's a big differentiator is if you can talk about what they're going to do with that talk afterwards. And so one of the big things that I get into in the training is the accountability side, because I was the person that brought in a lot of people in corporate as well. And so I brought in the speakers and the trainers and the consultants and the coaches. And I was baffled at the fact that they would spend thousands and sometimes tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars bringing these people in, and it would be a one and done. And so if you can create a message that has power to be more than a one and done, a message that is not just going in and getting the troops all rallied on a Thursday and Friday or a 2-hour over lunch, but something that can get you traction so that they're integrating different techniques, they're integrating strategies, they're integrating. So if you can start thinking about your message and what you deliver in that space, what's to separate you from everybody else that's trying to play out there, and you're not playing in the black hole anymore. You become someone who's very differentiated, and you're bringing value that really impacts their bottom line, or impacts employee engagement, or impacts something that's tangible. Because if you go in and say, look, this is part one, and in order to make sure we're getting momentum and integration, we're going to put these steps in place too. So those of you that are thinking you're just speakers, I would encourage you to think broader than that, to think about how the speaking is kind of the anchor to get you started, and what are you going to build from there, because that's where the real power and the magic is.
Okay, and those of you who are not speakers and don't necessarily feel confident on a big stage, there are some other opportunities, more like in a more intimate setting or in a workshop setting, where you would be, facilitating a training. So I know that's a little bit of a different feel. Some people don't feel that they are a speaker per se, or a keynote speaker, but yet they feel very comfortable doing some training.
Right. Well, and I would even say real quick to that is most people think that's the way they have to go into corporate, is the big stage. I'm going to tell you that is very difficult to do when you're an unknown entity. You need to go into a space where you've got that champion and those groups that are 7, 20 people, where someone brought you in because they want you to work exclusively with your team and they love you, and that's where you want to start, and then build the relationship once you get in. If those of you that are speakers that are waiting to get on the main stage in most of those organizations, it's going to be a challenging boulder to push uphill, because that's the best way to get into corporate.
Yeah, I mean, to start there, you typically have to have that celebrity status often, right? But you can certainly build your way up to that point. So I have seen you be able to, and I've actually experienced this too, where you have success with, one division of a company, and you kind of roll out maybe a workshop training and coaching program, accountability program. And that accountability piece is huge, really, to have something in place where they can implement what they're learning. You kind of check back in, see how they're doing, right? But to be able to get that going in one department and have it, rocking and doing really well, and then to be able to take that same concept and move into a different division or department of the company, and then, really train another group of folks. And that's a great way to kind of just expand your impact across a company. But you have to start somewhere and prove yourself in that one area first, right? And I love when you said, have that champion behind you, because a lot of times that's how you get in the door, is knowing somebody or having them really appreciate and respect the work that you're doing, and then they want to bring you in to share your expertise with their team. And I know that's how it's happened for me and a lot of cases, and that's happened for you as well. Can you share a little bit about how maybe you had reached out to some folks that you've met along the way, once you had a powerful message and training you can share, how you were able to kind of reach out to them and propose what you're doing, or even just kind of share what you're doing and how it organically turned into an opportunity?
Yeah, and there's a couple ways, and people think it's got to be so complicated to reach out to people that you already have relationships with. And I've done one of a couple things. First and foremost, I travel a lot with other speaking engagements and other things I'm doing with my business. So, I moved down from Milwaukee. I'm in Austin now, and it's interesting because, I'm going up to Milwaukee, and I have a friend of mine and I'm giving you an example of how I got in at GE. I called up an old friend of mine that we were in college together, and he and I and another guy were the leadership trio. We ran all these things on campus. We started a nonprofit. We were president and co-presidents of every organization. So we were very active, and I'm like, I haven't caught up with him in ages. And I just called and said, hey, I'm going to be in town. Any chance you want to get together for lunch? I'd love to hear. I knew he was responsible for training and development within GE, and I'm like, I don't even know what he has going on. We sat down and had a 4-hour lunch that turned into, hey, I need to bring you into GE. And I'm like, well, I'm already in, because my old boss had brought me in. And he goes, okay, can you be here 2 weeks from now? I've got a training group coming in, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with them. Literally was the only week I had available on my calendar that month.
Of course.
Right? And I went through the whole process. There was like 17 documents. It's a long process to get on as a vendor sometimes. But that's the start of the relationship. And now I've done 8 trainings at GE. We're having conversations around bringing my training into their curriculum for their entire management course and their master's level at their university within GE on the commercial service side, which is huge, right? They're talking about bringing that into their actual curriculum. But it started because I had a 4-hour lunch with an old college friend who, you know, had a couple drinks and we had a lot of conversation, really got fired up. And he's like, I need to bring you in.
Yeah.
And it was simply by picking up the phone and reaching out and saying, hey, I've done that as well with former people that I worked with. And whether you worked in corporate or not, you know people that are and have. But even just picking up the phone, and I'd send a message out on LinkedIn to a couple of people that were colleagues. And I'm like, hey, I don't know if you remember me, but we worked together at Johnson Controls back in the day. And one of the guys, and I did it on purpose, but he wrote back, he goes, are you kidding? How can I forget you? We traveled to Singapore together. And so I wrote a message back, yeah, no kidding. Where's your bags? Did they ever leave Bangkok? And it was like 15 years ago, but bam, I have a phone call with him, right? So
and you have that instant connection from
absolutely.
the past.
And it's so powerful. Even if it's not a key decision maker, that person can create a lot of influence and give you the inside track on where their priorities are, and with those conversations, sometimes they'll be like, ooh, hey, have you talked to so-and-so in a while? Would it be okay if I introduced you? It's so powerful. And everybody has that somewhere in their network. Everybody has that. And it's honestly as simple as sending out a very open email, something that just says, hey, haven't talked to you. See, you got a lot of things going on. Wow, would love to catch up. Here's a link to my calendar. It's that simple. And it's amazing. I've had over 25% conversion in 24 hours doing that, getting people on my calendar. And then it's just the conversation and where it goes from there.
Yeah, and that's, exactly what we talk about. Like if you're from the get-go trying to push what you're doing, like, oh, I have this amazing training program that I want to bring in, and that's your come from and where you're starting from, that can be a turnoff. So just like everything else we teach, it's like, start with the conversation, really talk about, what you're doing just from a casual place. And, if there is a need, it will develop organically where then you can, share even more what you're doing and how you might be able to help. Right. So always coming from that place of just wanting to connect and have that genuine conversation, and then, leading to potentially really coming from that place of service, so I think just like it is with an individual or, when you're marketing your business, it's providing value first, right? And really coming from that place of service and wanting to help. And if you're genuine about it, these things will come together organically, right? So I do have some folks in the that are considering the program that are more like in the health industry. Can you tell me what you would perceive as a good approach to enter into corporate with a message around health or wellness?
Yes.
What that might look like?
Yeah, first of all, I would get out and start doing massive research on the statistics around stress and anxiety and what it's costing corporate. There is $500 billion lost annually in the US alone based on people leaving for mental health days, for stress, anxiety. There's another, the statistics that are out there, and there's some great sources to do that are SHRM and Center of Disease Control and Prevention. When you go out and you look at those statistics and you're starting to have a conversation, it is amazing. It is staggering, the numbers that are out there around what it's costing companies in terms of turnover, what it's costing companies in terms of lack of employee engagement, what it's costing companies in terms of their insurance, because they have so many people that are not well because they are well past the point of even being able to function. They are self-medicating. You look at the numbers on that. Actually, I think it's such a missed opportunity, because if there was ever a message that had a place in corporate more than anything, it's the health and wellness message. And there is so much out there. It's a matter of you taking the time and doing the research. And you can go on and do a Google search and you can get out there and get those numbers. But when you're talking about $500 billion lost annually, you're not talking about chump change. And imagine if they could capture back 1%, 2%, 5% of that. That's huge numbers. That's not small impact. And there was an organization even that I was working with that they had $4 to $6 million a year they lost in turnover. Wow. But their turnover rates were 40% in the first year and 60% by the second year of new hires. That is ridiculous. ridiculous. And if you can go and improve that, something you can do can help people manage their time differently, help them take care of themselves, make sure that they've got self-care at work and they're creating that space, it's a win. It's a huge, powerful win across the board.
Yeah.
Something I'm very passionate
all
about.
in how you position it, right? And I absolutely agree. If you can come in there with, hard facts and statistics and numbers, and how much money that they're probably losing, that's what's going to wake them up. That's the pain point, right, that we're wanting to connect with, for sure. So I really wanted to mention this because I think it's a really easy way to get in, is like proposing a lunch and learn. On a lunch break, come in and do a presentation. Maybe you don't even get paid for that, but it's a great way to kind of deliver your value and share your expertise for the staff to see. And then, that might be a great way to get your foot in the door for some further programs. What would you say around that?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely a good example of one way to get in. I think people forget there's what I call speaking for investment, which means there's times, especially in the corporate space, that you've got to speak for free so that they can get to know you. The other great space is organizations. I just came back from speaking at ACMP, which is the huge Midwest Regional Change Management Conference, had most of the board members. It's a nonprofit. However, it's all the change management agents for those large organizations that were there. And the board was in the room and they go, oh my gosh, we're talking about having you come back for the keynote next year. Yeah. And that's the kind of, I know, right? That's the kind of traction you get, but it's being willing to show up in those spaces. So even setting up so that the brown bag, lunch and learns, those kinds of things are powerful. So we're getting into some of the ERGs, which is the employee resource groups, or the organizations that are on their campus, maybe the marketing group, whatever, and going in and offering to speak as an investment. And because once they get to know you, man, then there's leverage, there's power. It's all about creating leverage in corporate. And that word right there is a corporate word. So if you want to start really getting comfortable, people are like, oh, leverage. Use the word leverage. Leverage is very big as far as how corporate is looking at things. And when you start to get comfortable about how you can create that leverage, again, it's very powerful. But yeah, I think those are great examples of ways to get seen, because it's all about visibility.
Awesome. Well, you've shared so much, and I really, really appreciate your time and sharing with the participants today to learn more about you and your amazing expertise and what you're going to be bringing to the table in the Silverlining Success Academy. And before I let you go, is there any one last bit of info you want to share with the listeners today around how this can be a beneficial area for them to be able to expand their business?
Yeah, the one thing I would leave is the fact that they have a message now that's ready. It just needs to be fine-tuned. They just need to get clear on whether or not that's a space that they want to play in. And then the prescription or the way to get there is actually really simple. There's a lot of work that goes in, and there's pieces. But once you have the pieces in place, it's really a very simple equation to open up a lot of opportunities and create that leverage that I just talked about. So it's just a matter of getting started, and then take the time to do each step. Once you do that and you get comfortable with it, it's the same thing every time. Mm-hmm. And it's a system that'll really work for you.
Yeah, and really essentially what we're doing here is you're repurposing your message and your program that you've already created, and you're just tweaking it to kind of fit it into the corporate world. So it's already, you've done most of the work already, and then Candy's just going to walk you through the steps to really take your message into corporate the right way. Where she's going to share her secret formula on how to do that in a way that has grace and ease, right? So you don't have to struggle and try to figure it out on your own, right? So that's what all of these experts are here for, to really kind of hold your hand and walk you through the process and show you their step-by-step formula and what's worked for them, what they've learned through being out there, for years, and, figuring out this process on their own with a lot of, just time and effort and sweat and doing all that work. Now they have this formula that works that they're willing to share with you. So thank you, Candy, for bringing your amazing expertise to this program. And I'm sure all of the people listening to this webinar today are excited to jump in and really learn more from you in the program. So thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate you. I think you're awesome. And enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So I'm sure you're super excited like I am. I mean, I didn't lie to you when I said there's a ton of value in this program. And, you know, Candy's segment alone, again, just really, really valuable information that can bring you tons of money into your business. So it really is all about, you know, building and creating a business that reflects your true self, but at the end of the day is wildly profitable, right? So you're making plenty of money so you can create the lifestyle that you desire. So many of you may be wondering, you know, what is the investment? But before we go into that, I do want to also let you know that there's some tremendous bonuses available as well. So the first bonus number 1 is MP3 recordings of all of the group coaching calls. And these calls, again, will be available for you whenever you're able to listen to them. So if you can't listen to the live call, you just listen to the recording. So, you know, having these MP3 calls available at any time, even in the future after the program, that's $1,000 value right there. And then bonus number 2 is a private VIP day session with me. Now, a VIP day is really an intense strategic planning meeting where we kind of roll up our sleeves, get to work on anything that's relevant for you, an area that you really want to perfect or whatever it is. We customize it for you. So it essentially is a half day with me of one-on-one training and focus. I charge $5,000 for this right now. So that is the value of this bonus number 2. And then we have bonus number 3, which is unlimited access to future group calls in the Silverlining Success Academy. So even, you know, a year or 2 down the road, and you want to kind of get refreshed or get back into it a little bit, you're going to be able to gain access to additional group coaching calls. So that's another $1,000 value right there. And then we have a special paid in full bonus as well. So that is unlimited email access to me during the whole entire 6-month program. So this is invaluable, really, because if you're having any kind of challenge, you have any kind of question, anytime, or if you're feeling stuck, you just email me within the next 24 to 48 hours. I'll get back with you with an answer so you can get unstuck and continue on your path and continue moving forward. So those are the amazing bonuses. Wow. I mean, that just so much value you're getting in this program. So now I'm going to share with you what your investment is in this program. So in order to, you have 2 actual options with the program. So the investment total is $9,997. And which again, you can pay that for, working or really perfecting any one of these areas that we're going to be working on. So again, it's really just such a comprehensive program that once you get this all set up and you go through this program, you can absolutely be making, multiple 6 figures, 7 figures. So an investment of $9,997 in your business, where you're getting everything you need to be successful, that's what you want to look at. So option number 1 is you can secure your spot with only an $1,832 investment. So it's like a deposit. So we'll then, from that point, charge your credit card monthly payments of $1,832 for the next 5 months. Okay, so again, deposit of $18.32 right off the bat, and then $18.32 a month for the next 5 months. Now that includes a 10% finance charge because we're allowing you to kind of finance the program to fit into your budget. And then option number 2 is paying for the 6-month program upfront. So that's $9,997 just flat. So you're actually saving $997 by paying everything up front. And you get your pay in full bonus, which is the unlimited email access and support, valued at $1,000. So that is the investment. And, I know some of you might be thinking, that might be a lot of money that you don't necessarily have, but think about really just offering, a few packages and getting a few clients, especially when you're offering more high-end programs or packages. That will pay for your investment. And this is information that will allow you to create the business of your dreams. So also, you may be thinking, Megan, I'm just so busy right now. Love the word busy, right? You're probably busy because you're focusing on the wrong things in your business. And once you actually start focusing on the right things and the things that are actually income producing in your business, and you're doing everything right in your business, right? And not going against the grain, and everything's in alignment, you're going to be surprised how much time actually opens up. So there is that, but there also is the fact that the training modules and the group training calls will be available beyond the 6 months. So if you get a little backed up, not to worry, you can catch back up, and everything will be available for you, for indefinitely. So just keep that in mind as well. So it's not like, if you miss something, you miss it and you're not going to be able to access it again. So, and, just to reassure you, this program is really great for any coach, consultant, for any service provider, any speaker, author. It would be relevant for any of those areas. So it really doesn't matter what industry. It's just as long as you're a service provider, coach, consultant, speaker, author, any of those, this would be a perfect program for. So I'm sure you may still have some lingering questions. Our door is open if you want to shoot an email to support@megantull.com with any questions you might have. Super happy to help you and support you through that. But we are looking for people who are committed and motivated, really ready to design a business that reflects their true self, to really design every aspect of their business where they are in alignment and they are really wanting to be of service, make an impact in the world, and be incredibly fulfilled in the work that they're doing. In this process, you're able to really live a joyful and abundant life. And isn't that what we all want? So that is who we're looking to work with. We're not looking to work with somebody who is looking for a quick fix, or who is not willing to do the work, or is not going to follow through. If you're planning on any of that, then we don't want you part of this program. This program is for really go-getters, people who are really committed to doing the work and making a difference, getting their message out there in a huge way, and finally, figuring out that puzzle and getting all the pieces of the puzzle that they need to create that profitable lifestyle business of their dreams. So again, please email us at support@megantull.com if you have any questions. So this is the link here, the button that you go to at actually www.silverliningsuccessacademy.com, where you can actually get more information, It's a breakdown of everything we talked about in the webinar today, you know, what the modules are about, the benefits of the program, who it's for, and then more specifics about our experts in the program, you know, their bios and more information about them. So there is an application process. So if you know that this program is for you, when you go to the site, and you can access the site just by hitting register now over on the right here. So you'll get to the page and scroll down, and you'll be able to access the application. So we'd just like to know a little bit more information about your business and what your goals are, and making sure that this is a perfect fit for you, because we want to be able to support you in every way possible and make sure that your investment is well worth it. So thank you so much for taking the time to join us on this webinar. I hope it was informative for you. And I really am excited for the possibility of working with you in the Silverlining Success Academy. I'm so proud of this program, and it is going to be changing the way you see things forever, and absolutely redesigning and restructuring your business. And just so you know, too, those of you who have a new business, this program is also amazing because it will help you set your business up the right way from the beginning. So if that's a concern you have, not to worry, this is going to be perfect for you and will help you every step of the way. So see you on the other side. Again, click the button register now to get access to our sales page that has all of the details and the opportunity to get your application. So see you on the other side. Have a wonderful day.